Welcome to Resilience Redefined. I'm your host, Michael Ostrolenk. This show is about building better humans, institutions, and systems. On the show, I'll be interviewing many different experts from across many different fields, including human optimization, health and fitness, team building, mind-body medicine. In the institutional space, we're looking at different institutions and how we can create new ones, new models and maps, including in medicine, in education, in intelligence community, in law enforcement, in the military, especially in the special operations community. Thanks for being here and enjoy the show. Welcome to Resilience Redefined. I'm Michael Ostrolenk, your host, and this episode we're going to talk about red flags and green flags when it comes to relationships. When I work with individuals who either just recently got out of a relationship and or are seeking to get in a new relationship, two areas that we focus in on, and we're not just limited to those two areas, but are red flags and green flags. I think it's really important for people to start seeing red flags, acknowledging them, and taking decisions on them sooner than later. Most people, after the relationship is over, they will reflect back on the relationship and they'll say, oh, I noticed these particular behaviors as red flags early on. But, the hormones are flowing. This person is exciting. All the stories we tell about this other person in the relationship. And for myriads of reasons, we ignore the red flags. Well, what I have my clients do is be really clear after the fact on what the red flags were. And I have them go from very abstract to very concrete, like very specific definitions of what they saw in terms of behaviors that for them would not work in a long-term relationship. Not that any particular relationship would be a killer of the relationship, but you add these things together over time and it could be the killer of the relationship. It's more like making mature decisions. Just because there's a few red flags in a person doesn't mean you don't decide to date them, be in a relationship with them, because we all have our stuff. But you have to be really clear on where your standards are, what you're willing to put up with, what you're willing to accept, and then operate from there. So I'll have clients really do a deep dive on the red flags. And then as they start dating it again, we will walk through the dates, the conversations, the relationship as it's beginning to emerge and talk about the red flags. What did you notice? And it's really fascinating because most people, myself included, they'll notice these things, but they ignore them. And then what we will do is we'll make commitments. Well, they will make commitments to themselves. The commitment is to address the red flag in the moment or soon thereafter, whether directly with this particular partner or the potential partner, or just in their own consciousness. Like, is this a deal killer for me? Or how might I address this issue with this person? Because it does bother me. And or it could just be reflection back to oneself. Like, like projection. Like, I see this in this other person. Do I have this in myself? Here's an opportunity for my own growth and development. Because most likely, not all the times, but sometimes you see something in someone else that you also have that in yourself. So it's also an opportunity for your own growth, not just for you taking a better decision and being in a relationship. So go over your red flags. Be really clear on what the red flags are for you. And then take decisions on what you're going to do once you see the red flags, independent of all the hormones flowing through your body and how wonderful it all is. Because eventually the hormones die down, the reality hits, and you have to deal with whatever those red flags are over time. That's the red flags. The green flags is the exact opposite. It's like, what are you actually looking for in a relationship? Going from very abstract to very concrete. Client will say, I want my partner to be loving. I want my partner to be present and supportive. And I'm like, oh, those are great. Those sound wonderful. What do you actually mean by that? What concrete behaviors would indicate to you that this particular person in front of you that you're dating and want to be with, perhaps for the rest of your life, has those things? They are supportive. They are present. They are a listener. They are good listeners. Because if you don't go from abstract to concrete, then you really don't know if this person can live up to what you would like in a particular relationship. So not only do you want to know the red flags to be clear on them so you can make good decisions from a mature place, you want to be really clear on what the green flags are. What are you actually looking for? Very concrete behaviors. And can this person meet those things for you? And it's not about judging them like, oh, they're a bad person. It's more like, is this a good person for me? Just like you would hope that they would ask the same question. Are you a good person for them? It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean they're a bad person. But you want to make sure it's a good fit, that they're able to meet your needs, your wants, your desires, not in a needy place, from a secure, sovereign place, both ways. So I would encourage you guys to understand your red flags, be really clear on your green flags as a basis of beginning a new relationship. Hey, if you enjoyed this podcast, let me know on the various social media platforms. Love to hear from you. And if you're interested in working with me, you can check me out at michaeldostrolenk.com and sign up for a discovery call. Would love to talk to you.